Hello and welcome to today's podcast episode where we explore one of the most heartbreaking and controversial stories emerging from India. This is World Info Nexus and I'm your host Sukant Chaudhary. This is a case that raises questions about the very foundations of our legal system, marriage, and the pursuit of justice. And I need your thoughts along the way, so I encourage you to reflect and answer some interactive questions I will pose during the story. Your opinion matters. Let's get started. On December 9, 2024, Atul Subhash, a 34-year-old software engineer from Bengaluru, India, ended his life in what has become a tragedy that shocked the nation. But this wasn't just any suicide. No, this was a calculated act, one that Atul believed was the only way out of the immense emotional and psychological agony he was enduring. Atul Subhash and Nikita Singhania's married life initially appeared to be the picture of happiness. They met through matrimonial website Shadi.com and their relationship quickly blossomed into a loving partnership. Atul, a successful software engineer in artificial intelligence from Bengaluru, and Nikita, a confident woman from a respected family, seemed like the perfect match. In the beginning, they supported each other's dreams and the love seemed strong. They traveled together, laughed over dinner, and shared their hopes for the future. The birth of their son brought them even closer, and Atul was overjoyed at becoming a father. The couple often shared happy family moments, with Atul doting on their child, and Nikita, a loving mother, enjoyed her role as the nurturing figure in their little family. This is what everything seemed to be. However, beneath the surface of this picture perfect life, there were subtle signs of tension and unresolved issues. Despite their outward happiness, cracks began to form over time, eventually leading to an emotional and legal breakdown that no one could have anticipated. The happiness that once defined their marriage began to erode, setting the stage for a tragic end. Atul, before ending his life, left behind a haunting 24-page note and an 81-minute video that would send shockwave through the nation. In these final moments, Atul placed blame squarely on his wife Nikita Singhania and her family, accusing them of years of abuse, extortion, and harassment. His words painted a devastating picture of a man who had been trapped in a relentless cycle of manipulation and legal warfare.
वर्ल्ड। मेरा नाम अतुल सुभाष है। मैं तकरीबन 34 साल का हूँ, बैंगलोर में रहता हूँ। आज मैं सुसाइड कमिट करने जा रहा हूँ। इसका कारण 5 लोग हैं। पहला, प्रिंसिपल फैमिली कोर्ट जज जौनपुर नीता कौशिक। दूसरा, मेरी पत्नी निकिता सिंघानिया जो कि एक्सेंचर कंपनी में काम करती है दिल्ली में। तीसरा, मेरी मदर इन लॉ निशा सिंघानिया जो कि जौनपुर में रहती हैं। चौथा, मेरा ब्रदर इन लॉ अनुराग सिंघानिया जो कि उर्फ पीयूष सिंघानिया, अनुराग उर्फ पीयूष सिंघानिया जो कि जौनपुर में रहता है। पांचवा, मेरे पत्नी के अंकल सुशील सिंघानिया जो कि जौनपुर में रहते हैं।
Now let's pause for a moment. Imagine being in Atul's shoes, trapped in a legal battle, unable to see your child, dealing with the pressure of false accusations, and feeling like there is no way out. Can you relate to that feeling of desperation? Have you ever felt powerless in a situation where it seemed like the whole system was against you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. As you think about that, let's dive deeper into what led to his tragic end. The story began when Atul's father in law, who had been battling deteriorating health, particularly heart problem, faced a sudden health scare. Atul and his wife Nikita Singhania rushed into marriage due to his condition. However, despite the rushed marriage, things took an unexpected turn. Shortly after the marriage, Atul's father in law unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack. In a shocking twist, after 3 years of his death, Atul Subhash found himself facing murder charges after allegations that his father in law's death wasn't merely a natural cause but potentially something darker. It was claimed that the father in law died as a result of Atul's alleged demand for dowry and harassment of Nikita, though Nikita had no evidence to support these accusations yet. The question still lingers why it took 3 years to file the FIR for the murder charges.
ये कबूल किया कि उनके पिता की मृत्यु लंबे समय की बीमारी के बाद हुआ। ये उन्होंने 2023 दिसंबर अक्टूबर और नवंबर में अपने क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में कबूल किया। सच्चाई ये है कि मेरे फादर इन लॉ काफी लंबे समय से बीमार थे, इसलिए हमारी शादी भी जल्दी हुई। उन्हें हार्ट की बीमारी, डायबिटीज, ब्लड थिनिंग की दवाई लेते थे। एम्स में उनका 10 साल से अधिक से इलाज चल रहा था। डॉक्टर ने उन्हें बहुत कम टाइम दिया था, इसकी वजह से हमारी शादी 2019 में हुई जल्दी। ठीक उसके शादी के कुछ महीनों बाद अगस्त 2019 में उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, 2019 में शादी के बाद। और ये केस जो हम पर और उनकी मृत्यु ब्लड क्लॉट ब्रेन में जाने से हुई। ये केस हम पर मृत्यु 2019 अगस्त में हुई। ये केस हम पर 2022 में लगा है। मई 2021 तक मेरी पत्नी मेरे साथ रहती थी, तकरीबन 1.25 साल पिता की मृत्यु के बाद भी। और यहाँ से जाने के तकरीबन 8 महीने बाद उन्होंने ये केस डाला 2022 में, तकरीबन 2.5 साल बाद पिता की मृत्यु के। आप खुद ही अंदाजा लगा सकते हो।
Also, Atul had been in a bitter divorce and custody battle over his son. In his final note, he accused Nikita and her family of demanding an outrageous ₹3 crore for the divorce settlement and additional payments for visitation rights. As if that wasn't enough, he claimed they used legal threats and false dowry harassment charges as tools to further extort him. Can you even imagine the emotional toll of facing such manipulation? The constant fear, the feeling of being unjustly accused, the hopelessness of seeing no end in sight. Share your perspective. Atul Subhash's life was not only defined by personal struggles but also by an immense legal battle that drained his time, energy, and resources over the course of 3 years.
इस वीडियो को देखकर आपको ये सीखने को मिलेगा कि कैसे आज कोई भी लड़की किसी भी आदमी और उसके पूरे परिवार को बर्बाद कर सकता है इस कानूनी व्यवस्था का इस्तेमाल करके, और कैसे ये कानूनी व्यवस्था सिर्फ कानूनन तरीके से आदमियों के खिलाफ नहीं है, बल्कि कैसे ये भ्रष्ट भी है और आपको ये सोचने पे मजबूर करेगा कि क्या हम अपनी आस्था ऐसी व्यवस्था पर रख सकते हैं।
He had to attend a staggering 120 court hearings, many of which required him to travel long distances from his home in Bengaluru to Jaunpur in Uttar Pradesh, approximately 1800 kilometers away.
बता दूं आपको कि अभी तक तकरीबन मैंने जोड़ा है 120 से भी अधिक कोर्ट के डेट्स लग चुके हैं लास्ट 2.5-3 सालों में अक्रॉस ऑल केसेस, और 40 बार मैं खुद इन कोर्ट डेट्स को अटेंड करने के लिए बैंगलोर से जौनपुर जा चुका हूँ। इसके अलावा मेरे माता पिता और भाई को भी अक्सर कोर्ट के चक्कर काटने पड़ते हैं।
On top of this, Atul had to cover flight cost, living expenses, and other associated costs, all while paying ₹40,000 in maintenance for his wife and son from his monthly salary of ₹80,000. Meanwhile, Nikita Singhania likely earned a competitive salary of around ₹1 lakh per month, further complicating the financial strain Atul faced during their prolonged legal battle. This relentless legal pressure significantly impacted his career as a software engineer in artificial intelligence, a profession that requires focus, precision, and the ability to dedicate long hours to complex tasks. He had one final wish for his son to be raised by his parents, fearing that Nikita and her family would continue to exploit the legal system to their advantage. His message painted a picture of a man driven to his breaking point, and that's something many people resonate with. But here is where things get even more complicated. Nikita Singhania, the wife in this case, paints a completely different picture of their marriage. She claims she was coerced into marrying Atul with her family's pressure at the time due to her father's failing health. She accuses Atul and his family of mistreating her, demanding dowry, and subjecting her to physical and emotional abuse. She claims her mother fueled tensions between them. So here we have two completely opposing stories. Atul claiming victimhood at the hands of his wife and her family, while Nikita presents herself as the victim of Atul's and his family's mistreatment. What do you think? Can both parties be victims in this situation? Or does one story holds more weight? What do you think the truth really is? Let me know your thoughts. The custody battle, however, remains another tragic chapter in this ongoing saga. Atul's father, Pawan Modi, filed a formal complaint seeking the return of his grandson, expressing grave concern over the child's safety.
चीज तो है, बाकी वो तो शहीद हुआ है ना। मैं तो ये समझता हूँ कि मेरा बेटा शहीद हो गया। जैसे भगत सिंह शहीद होकर के राष्ट्र को संदेश दे के आज़ादी दिलवाया है, तो इस बुरे, हम समझते हैं करप्शन जो चल रहा है अदालत में और न्याय में, उसको ज़रूर नरेंद्र मोदी जी और जो न्यायपालिका है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट और उनके जो उच्च अधिकारी हैं, न्यायाधीश हैं, उनको चाहिए कि ये न्यायालय जो है एक मंदिर है। वहाँ पर बैठा हुआ इंसान यदि करप्शन करेगा तो फिर और अतुल सुभाष का ऐसा करेंगे। मैंने उसकी यही भावना थी कि और कोई अतुल सुभाष ऐसा नहीं करे, कानून में सुधार हो। ये कानून का जो गलत दुरुपयोग हो रहा है उस पर संशोधन करने की ज़रूरत है। और हमारे परिवार को न्याय एक ही चाहिए कि हम लोग यदि दोषी हैं तो उसका जांच कराया जाए, और मेरे पोता को कम से कम यदि न्यायपालिका में कोई ऐसा प्रावधान हो कि हम लोग को दिए जाए, तो हम लोग सोचेंगे कि ये बहुत बड़ा एहसान है हम लोग के परिवार पर इस न्याय का। यही हम मान के चलते हैं भाई साहब, और कुछ हम नहीं बोलेंगे।
Imagine this, a grieving grandfather unable to comfort his son in his final moments, now fighting desperately to protect his grandson from what he believes is a dangerous situation. Pawan Modi publicly stated that the family would even consider taking their own lives if they didn't regain custody. The emotional pain is palpable, isn't it?
अपने ऊपर सब लेके अपना मेरा बच्चा सब बर्दाश्त किया, हम लोग को भी नहीं सहने दिया, अपना कष्ट अपने झेलता रहा अंदर ही अंदर।
मार्च के महीना में वो गया था, मार्च के महीना के बाद जब आया ना तो कहा कि पापा वहाँ का जो मीडिएशन का जो जज है, चाहे जो भी लोग है, वकील है चाहे जज है, जो भी है, वो वहाँ के कानून व्यवस्था जो लॉ है अपने भारत का, उस लॉ से नहीं चलता है। लोग उस लॉ को मानता ही नहीं है। जो ये बता रहा था कि इस धारा में ये लॉ होना चाहिए, तो वो उसको हाई कोर्ट के, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के लॉ को भी नहीं मानता था। उनको तो 40 बार बेंगलोर, कम से कम 40 बार गया होगा बेंगलोर से जौनपुर।
But let's zoom out for a moment. This case touches on something far deeper than just one family's crisis. It speaks to the very heart of India's dowry law and how it's often wielded to manipulate and control. The law in question, IPC 498A, dowry related harassment and cruelty by husband or relatives of husband. IPC 354, assault or criminal force with intent to outrage modesty of a woman. IPC 376, punishment for rape. IPC 377, unnatural offences. Section 125 CRPC, maintenance of wife, children and parents. These laws were created to protect women, addressing issues they have faced for decades. However, in recent years, they have faced growing criticism for being exploited as tools for financial gain, blackmail, and manipulation, allowing some to control men and obtain what they desire. While women in genuine need are not utilizing these laws to their benefit, some greedy individuals have turned them into a weapon for personal gain. As a result, Courts are overcrowded with fake cases, and women who truly need justice continue to struggle in their pursuit of it. Men's rights activists and organizations like the Ekam Nair Foundation argue that the law has been weaponized, misused by some women to make false allegations against their husbands and in laws. These activists claim that it often leads to family discord, financial drain, and in some cases suicides like Atul's. One of the most vocal critics, Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj, argues that the law is inherently gender biased and can be exploited by women for personal gain.
Our courts have recognized they are dealing with these cases day in, day out. So nobody can understand the fabric of how a law is being used or misused better than the courts that are dealing with these cases day in, day out. So it's not once, it's not twice. I think Supreme Court itself has passed judgments probably about 25, 30, maybe 50 times, commenting upon how 498A has been grossly misused. As recent as last week, Supreme Court once again said that the law is being misused by wives to make the husband give in to her unreasonable demands.
Do you agree? Have you seen or heard of cases where laws meant to protect victims have been misused to exploit the other side? What's your take on the imbalance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Here is something troubling. There has been a rise in suicides among men in India attributed to the misuse of this law. Men like Atul, who feel trapped by false accusations, financial extortion, and legal manipulation, often find no way out. A man's desperation and emotional suffering can sometimes go unnoticed or dismissed. Isn't that alarming? Cases of death by suicide among Indian men have grown over one third in the past 7 years, claimed a report by the Lancet Regional Health. In 2014, 89,129 men died by suicide as against 42,521 women. The ratio rose to 2.64 times in 2021. This year, 1,18,979 males died by suicide against 45,026 females. On the flip side, women's rights advocates argue that the Dowry law is still critical to protecting women. Dowry related violence and deaths remain a devastating epidemic in India. According to official statistics, more than 35,000 women were killed in dowry related incidents between 2017 and 2022. Advocates say that while misuse of the law is a real issue, the solution is to strengthen enforcement and punishment for false claims, not to dismantle protections that save lives. What do you think? Do you believe the law is still necessary for women's protection, or do you think its misuse is too great a risk? Where do we draw the line? Drop your perspective in the comments below. As this case continues to unfold, one thing becomes painfully clear. The legal system is deeply flawed. It is caught between competing claims of victimhood, those of men who suffer under false accusations, and those of women who still face genuine dowry related violence. The question remains, what reforms are needed to ensure both men and women get fair treatment in such cases? Ultimately, Atul Subhash's tragic death exposes a much deeper crisis. It's not just about one man or one family. It's about a legal system that has failed to protect its citizens equally, a legal system that needs urgent reform. We must ask ourselves, how do we balance the rights of all parties involved and ensure that no one is left feeling helpless or betrayed by the very system meant to protect them? Think about it. Where are we headed as a society? What are we truly offering to the next generation? Are we handing them a legacy of gender biased laws that tilt the scales of justice. In a system where women's words can be accepted as truth without evidence, and a man is left to prove his innocence, we risk creating a society where blame is easier and more acceptable than the pursuit of truth. This imbalance not only damages families but also undermines the very foundation of fairness. For a future built on justice and equality, we must reflect on the laws that define us and ensure they protect everyone regardless of gender. Before we end, I want you to reflect on the question: what is the solution? How can we reform the law to ensure fairness for everyone, regardless of gender? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this story has made you think deeply about the complexities of law, justice, and personal tragedy. If this story has made you reflect on the complexities of justice and the struggles within our legal system, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters, and I encourage you to engage with the questions we have raised. Let's continue this conversation and work together towards understanding and change. I would love to hear from you and continue the conversation. Share this podcast with others who might be interested in exploring these important issues. Let's keep the dialogue going and work towards a better understanding of justice and fairness for all. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve our work. This has been World Info Nexus, and I'm your host Sukant Chaudhary. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay informed, stay safe, and join us for more riveting stories. Take care. Goodbye for now.